Thank you so much for clicking on this video. As you can tell by the title, I'm pregnant. So we're super excited. We will be welcoming our baby this December. So I definitely wanted to kind of document this experience, kind of talk about my first trimester, the symptoms, things that I took, and also a pregnancy scare. So I found out I was pregnant. On April 22nd. My period is pretty consistent. I usually get my period every month around the 20th. Like I said, it may be a couple of days late, or early, but it's usually pretty consistent. So when I first missed my period, I really didn't think too much about it. I was just like, okay, my period is just late, because I had really sore breasts, and usually that's like the first sign for me that my period is coming. So I was like, oh, it's just a couple days late. So on the 22nd, I was actually watching an episode of Basketball Wives, and Tammy was discussing trying to conceive, and she was discussing how, when you first find out you're pregnant, or one of the symptoms of pregnancy is a headache. And you guys, I really did have a headache that day. I was laying there just like, why is my head hurting so bad? And so it just hit me when she said that. I was like, oh my God, I am late. I have really sore breasts, and I have a headache. Maybe I should take a test. So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna go buy a test. But I was kind of nervous. I really didn't want to tell my husband yet. So I was like, he had asked me, did I want to take the dog on a walk? So I was just like, you know what? This is the perfect time. We can walk the dog. I can stop in the store and purchase a pregnancy test. So I was like, bet. So I got the pregnancy test. I took it that night, and it came back immediately pregnant. And I was just like, oh my God. Oh my God. I couldn't believe it, because we only were trying for, I want to say maybe 3 or 4 months. So, I was really expecting it to take a little bit longer for us to conceive our first child. So I was just like, I was kind of like shocked, but at the same time, it was expected because we were trying. So from 4 to 6 weeks, outside of like the sore breasts, really, and when I say sore, you guys, like I had to sleep with a sports bra, because that's how sore my breasts were. So outside of the sore breasts and the headache, I had acid reflux, really bad. So that's something that I always experience. Like if I eat, a thing of pineapples, I'm in trouble. So I started having it really bad though. And it was like heartburn, like it was so bad. So at my first appointment, I asked my doctor, and she told me to take Tums. So if you have acid reflux problems, if you have heartburn, take some Tums. These are safe. You can take these while you're pregnant. Like I said, I didn't even think to take these, but my doctor told me to take them, and it was like, such a relief. So definitely get you some Tums. From there, I was fatigued a little bit. And then the nausea came, you guys. I don't know about you, but if I gotta throw up, I'd rather just throw up. I do not want to be sitting there just feeling nauseous all day. And it was just like, it was so bad, you guys. So my husband, he went and picked up a couple things. So I had tried ginger ale. I tried crackers. Then he ended up getting some ginger tea. He got some Preggy Pops. And these 2 things, you guys, you can purchase these at Target. And then he also got me some ginger gum. This is something that you can get from CVS or Walgreens. You guys, they may work for you, but I don't feel like they really work for me. I just feel like I was just one of those pregnant women that I'm just sick. So I just started later on throughout my trimester, I just started embracing. I just said, you know what, this is meant to happen. I'm supposed to be sick, because I tried literally everything that I could look up and nothing really helped. Or maybe I just didn't stick to things that long. Maybe I just wasn't, taking them, or I don't know what it was, but I just didn't feel like anything was working. So from 6 weeks to 8 weeks, that's when I feel like my senses started picking up. So I could literally start smelling everything, and everything was making me nauseous. Like, for one thing, meat, cooked meat in particular. So whenever my husband was cooking, let's just say he'll try to make some chicken, whether he bake it, fried it, air fried it, grill it, it was just driving me crazy. I literally was putting on my face mask under the blankets with a candle lit. Like, it was that bad, you guys. It was making me so nauseous. I could eat the food, I could eat the meat, but it was something about smelling it being cooked, being prepped. It was just a no-go for me. Like, I couldn't do it. And then I also had that metallic taste. So people say it tastes like basically a penny, like you are sucking on a penny. It's so nasty. Like, I tried brushing my teeth, I tried chewing gum, I tried just drinking something. It will all go away for a short period of time, and then it will be right back. I'm so glad that phase is kind of over right now. Like, it's not that bad now, but during that time, I was just like, okay, all right, okay, another symptom off the checklist. Like, this is going crazy. So from week 8, now this is something that, oh my God. So week 8, I was scheduled for an ultrasound on a Thursday, okay? Wednesday, I started feeling a little better. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a client. I do lashes. So I was like, I'm going to do some lashes and, see how things go. So I took my client. Everything was great. It was smooth. As my client was leaving, I was hugging her goodbye. She was walking out the door. And I literally felt a gush of blood. Well, I felt the gush of fluid. Okay, let me say that, because I didn't think it was blood at first. Even though in my mind I'm like, I know it's not pee. It didn't feel like pee, but it was just a lot, you guys. So I went to the bathroom, and I was just crying because I couldn't understand why. And it was so much. Like, I know people say, like, oh, you can have a period when you're pregnant. That's why some people don't even know that they're pregnant. You guys, it was so much blood. It was beyond, like, my normal period. Day 1, day 2, day 3. It was so much blood. And when I say it pretty much went through my underwear, went through my pants, like, it was all over my clothes. Oh my God, just thinking about this, like, when I looked at my underwear, it was just like clots. I didn't record this because in my mind, I wasn't even thinking about recording that experience. I was more so just like, when you're experiencing something like that, or at least for me, I really wanted to remain positive, but it was so hard for me. Like, I literally was thinking like, oh my God, I'm having a miscarriage. Like, it was so hard for me to just be like, okay, this is normal. I never heard anyone bleeding to that extent. And when you go on Google, which is terrible, do not do that. If you are experiencing something similar to this, do not go on Google because you're going to freak out. And that's what I did. I went on Google and I'm just looking up images. I'm looking up people talk about their experience, and I was freaking out. And I didn't have any pads, so I had to text my husband and tell him to stop at the store. I need you to get me some pads because I'm bleeding. I think I'm having a miscarriage. And I don't know why I sent him a message like that. I think I was just so like mind blown. I was so sad. I was so all over the place with my emotions, and I didn't even think that how I'm saying this is so crazy for him as well. So he came home, and of course he's sad, and I'm sad, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do. So I called my doctor. I let the front desk know. I say, hey, I'm bleeding really bad. And they were just like, okay, well, you're scheduled for an ultrasound tomorrow. You can wait, come in tomorrow. We'll see how everything goes. But if you're feeling really bad, if you have a fever, if you're cramping, go ahead and go to the emergency room. So I had decided, I'm not cramping. I don't have a fever. I'm just bleeding. I'm just going to wait it out. So about time I put a pad on, and when I checked the pad, it was nothing there. It was almost like, did that really just happen? Like, I had a little bit of a discharge, but it was nothing, nowhere near compared to what had just happened. So, but that entire night, you guys, when I say it was just so sad for me and my husband, we both kind of just were quiet. We both prayed. I prayed by myself, and I just said, God, whatever you have in store for me, I will trust your decision. I hope you allow me to continue throughout this process, continue with this pregnancy, but I'm going to accept whatever decision you have in store for me. Because I know it's up to him. So, like I said, I prayed, I cried, and it was just a really quiet night. So the next day, I went in for the ultrasound, and that was a awkward experience as well. So I went in for the ultrasound, and as the tech is getting ready, I let her know. I said, hey, I called yesterday because I was bleeding really bad, and I just wanted to put that out there. So she begins the ultrasound. She goes over my stomach. About 3 minutes went by. She didn't say anything. I didn't see anything on the monitor. So in my mind, it's going back into the negative state. I'm like, all right, well, get prepared, Tracy. So she says, all right, go ahead and empty your bladder. Go to the bathroom. When you come back, we'll do the vaginal ultrasound. And so I'm like, I went to the bathroom, and you guys, I'm just bawling because I'm like, all right, I'm going to go back and hear this information. So I go in for the vaginal ultrasound, and then she turns around and say, all right, you ready to hear the heartbeat? And I'm just like hysterical. I'm just crying. I'm just like, what? There's a heartbeat. Like, thank you, God, first off. But what? Like, I'm pregnant still? And she was like, yeah. I'm like, but I was bleeding so bad. And she was just like, well, I don't see why. I don't really see any issues. The baby looks healthy. The heartbeat is strong. And here's the ultrasound, you guys. And I was just like, oh my God. Like, do you not know? It was just like music to my ears because, like I said, I wanted to remain positive, but in the back of my mind, I really thought that I was having a miscarriage. I really thought that that was like the beginning of the situation. And I was just like, I couldn't believe it. So to me, you guys, that was like a scary situation to experience, especially around so early in your trimester, 8 weeks. But if you are experiencing that, like I said, do not freak out, remain hopeful, and everything is going to be okay. So, because I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. And so next, after that, after the bleeding, I was having like a brown discharge, but the bleeding did not stop, you guys. I will say from 8 weeks until pretty much kind of now, current, I will experience 1 bleed a week. So I will bleed kind of red blood. I want to say it's heavy, but it's not as heavy as the first time. But I will experience a red blood, and then it will fade into like a brown discharge. And when I asked my doctor about it, she just said it's not abnormal, and just monitor it and make sure, you know, it's not really, it's not going on for multiple days. And so that's kind of what I've been doing. I asked multiple people. I asked probably 3 doctors, and they couldn't tell me what was going on. They just said it's not abnormal and to monitor it. So around 9 weeks, I started throwing up. So that's the fun part. So from 9 weeks all the way up to kind of now, I was throwing up. But in the beginning, it was really bad. So I want to say around 9 weeks to about 12 weeks, that's when it was almost every day. Everything that I ate, didn't matter what it was. It can be something really good. Oh my God, and that's what makes me so upset. It will be a delicious meal. Go out to dinner, or my husband picks up something, or just cooks, and it will all come back up, you guys. So I just always felt so bad. I felt so bad. So I was throwing up. Everything else kind of went away, all the other symptoms, but I was just throwing up all the time. Around 12 weeks, that's when I went in for my NIPS scan, and that's basically when they test for like Down syndrome, and make sure, you know, pretty much that the baby is healthy, everything is growing fine. They actually check the, I want to say the spinal. So from the head to like the spinal, they kind of look around the neck. They end up calling my baby a stubborn baby though, because they could not get the exam completed. They were not able to do the test because the baby was not moving in the direction that they needed. So I end up just having to do more blood work. And so I guess through the blood work, they were able to still, you know, test the things that they needed. And all the results came back negative. So that was like a great moment to hear, you know, that your baby is growing, and it's doing what it's supposed to do. And this is actually another ultrasound picture. This picture was so blurry out. It's kind of like, why did she give me this? But I'm so happy to see the baby. But this is my little baby right here at 12 weeks. Super excited. So cute. Oh, I can't believe it. So like I said, everything looks great. So around 13 weeks, I started feeling better, you guys. I am feeling a little better. I'm still sick. So I'll say out of 7 days out of the week, I'll be sick for maybe 3 days. I'll have like 4 good days. They're not back to back, but I'll have some good days, and then I will be sick some other days. So, and that's what, it also depends on what I'm doing. Like if I'm out and I'm about and I'm having a great day, it's like the next day I pay for it. So I don't know what it is, but I'm hoping that my next trimester, my second trimester, things kind of really calm down. And people say, the doctors say your second trimester, you should start feeling better. But at the same time, you never know. It's pregnancy. It's full of surprises. So one more thing that I wanted to go over with you guys is also some things that I'm taking, like my prenatal vitamins. So prior to getting pregnant, because I knew that I wanted to start trying, I knew that, you know, this was going to be the year that me and my husband wanted to see if we can conceive. I started taking like folic acid. I heard that's really good. And if you know anything about vitamins, you know, they don't get in your system immediately. So you have to take them for a while. So I wanted to make sure I have, you know, the nutrients in my body prior to getting pregnant. So I started taking these. I ordered these from Amazon. They're really small, don't have really any taste. Like I said, I was taking these prior to getting pregnant, and then my doctor prescribed me the prenatal vitamins. Now these things, I don't like them. I don't know if it was just, they're really big to me. Actually, let me see if I can show you guys one of these pills. So it's pretty big, as you can see. That's a big pill. And when you're nauseous, you're throwing up already. And this, I don't know, it just wasn't a good time for me at the time. So I ended up asking my doctor, well, I ordered these first. I ordered some prenatals online. I wanted to try like a gummy version, to see if that kind of just helped with the nausea and throwing up and stuff like that. So I went online and I actually got this brand. It's some GNC prenatal gummies, and it also still have like the DHA, the folic acid, things like that, which what you need during pregnancy. And I asked my doctor about these, and she said these were safe to take. So I've been taking those instead of the ones that they prescribed to me because, like I said, I didn't really like them too much. But outside of that, you guys, that's pretty much everything that happened throughout my first trimester. I would show you guys. Actually, I'm going to show you a bump, but I can't take my can't lift up my shirt because I do have on a dress. But I do want to show you guys my bump. So this is me. As you can tell, this is me right currently. And so I definitely have a little bump. Now, and I apologize, guys, I don't have a bump on my But you guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Stay tuned. I'm going to be doing more updates about this entire pregnancy. And also, hopefully, my next video, I'm going to be talking about a couple things that I already purchased. I know, terrible, but I did get gifts already. So I do want to show you guys some of that stuff. So stay tuned. Thank you, guys.